Okay, so today's project is to build a small section of fence and to build a wing. And so let me explain both of those. So here's our field out here. And what we've been doing in the past to gather is we have brought the calves all the way around here, brought them down, and there's a gate way down there. We can't do that anymore because here this morning we're going to be planting alfalfa, and we don't want to be going through the alfalfa field and trompling it down. We just don't want to be doing that. So what I'm going to do is we want to run them into this trap. This is where they come in and get water anyways. There's a gate right there that leads into the alleyways. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to fence this off right here. It's already got the T-posts and all that in there, so we're gonna just string 5 wires coming all the way across. I'm going to build a brace and then patch this little hole over here, and then we're going to build a wing. So typically wings are fixed, and all that means is we're going to take from this post and we're going to stretch and build a fence that goes all the way out to somewhere about there, about 30 or 40 feet. And the purpose or the intent of that is so when we now bring the cattle this way, all the way around, they're gonna see this wing coming off, and they're gonna go into this hole right here. And so it's just kind of think of it like as a funnel. So they hit that, or they see it, they turn, they see the hole, they go in through the hole. I'm gonna have this little hole right here fenced off, and of course that one right there that I just showed you. One person can man this hole back here, and we can just bring the cattle in and hold them into this trap, and then slowly squeeze them and funnel them into that gate down there. So that is the plan for today. I don't know if we'll get it all done, but we have tentatively put a ship date of the 25th, the week of the 25th. I think the sales, we're gonna go to the eastern side of the state to a sales ring out in Clovis. And we are, I believe they sell on Wednesdays. I gotta double check. And so, to try to help avoid some of that tough gathering that we had last time, because this field should only take an hour or two to gather, I'm gonna build those modifications. The other reason for making this this wing right here that I'm gonna build as temporary is the pivot still needs to be able to run. And so we will probably end up moving the pivot down and then finding where I can put T-posts in to hold the fence up. But then when we're all done, we can just take it, we can then just take the fence and fold it back and just lay it against this fence here. That way it's out of the way. And then when I need it, I can run it back out there. So that's the intent, that's the purpose, that's the project for today. Okay, so the first thing we get to do is we need to pound this post in a little bit more. So this is a post driver. Got to hold one in, hollow tube handles. Goes over the top. And the reason we're doing that is just to get it a little more in the ground. Really the right way to do this is to set a post here, set another post, and create what they call as an H brace. But since I'm just experimenting with this, I'm gonna just kind of cheat a little bit. We're gonna put a brace like this, create a notch. I'm gonna weld it, tack weld it, and then stretch the fence. That way we can keep it tight. If this works after a year or two and looks good, then I'll probably replace this and put in pipe. But I don't want to go through all that extra effort if it doesn't work. So we're just in design phase. Okay, so we got the notch in, and I see my planter coming, so we got to go meet him up there. So we got our notches put in here, and I got a notch down there as well. So let me explain to you some of the equipment that we have here. So we have a Lincoln welder here. This is a welder generator. We can move it wherever we need to. You've got a negative lead, which you tie to ground. And then you have a grounding rod, which is this guy here, attached to your clamp there. And then you hit the metal that you're trying to glue together, and it produces a weld. So when you're welding, it produces a nasty arc. If you ever look at that arc for a long amount of time, it'll burn your eyes and you will go blind by it. So don't ever look at the arc. To protect ourselves from said arc, we have a welding helmet. This is a newer helmet. It's got the solar panel in it. And so I can have that helmet all the way down, and then I can see perfectly, and then as soon as I hit the arc, it puts the protection over my eyes. And so it's really handy, so you don't have to flip the helmet up and down. The old school welders, they would have the helmet up, and then they would spot where they need to weld, and they do this motion. The helmet would flip down, and they would tack it. And then they would use the light from the arc to show them where else they needed to weld and glue their stuff together. So new technology, pretty neat. I guess the other thing to note that I forgot to tell you is we wear gloves, long shirt, pants, boots. We protect all of our skin because that arc will also give you a sunburn. So any skin that's exposed will be sunburned. So I'll button this up, I'll put my other glove on, and then we'll get to going. So before I show you the weld, you may have noticed that I was coming over here and adjusting something. I was adjusting this dial. It adjusts how much current is going through to melt your stick. There's different sizes of sticks and material and whatnot, and if you have it too hot, it'll just burn a hole right through the metal, which was what was happening, and so I had to turn it down. Now, I am not a master certified super duper welder, but this will get the job done. I'm not looking to win any awards. Those guys that can weld and ladies that can weld, they do some amazing, amazing work. So now we got a brace ready to go that I can stretch on, and I can put this wire up. So that's what we're gonna do next. It's a little hard to show you, but at least show you one-handed. But anyways, I ran 5 wires on this. If I was trying to hold the cattle, I would use a barbed wire or a barb on the wire. But I'm not trying to hold them. I'm just trying to create or block up the hole. And so I've decided to use a slick wire. I've also decided to use slick wire, and it's slick wire because there's no barbs on it, is because that's what I had. I didn't want to go to the store and get barbed wire for the very little that I'm actually going to be needing this fence to do what it's designed to do. And so I went with slick wire. I think it'll be fine. Time will tell. So what I've done is run the wire, you double wrap it, and then you turn it onto itself like so. And then you try to put the little gitchas, which are these, try to put those down so Mama doesn't get scratched. Mama the human. Okay. So then I also spaced each wire 4 pegs apart, 4 notches apart. And the next step that I need to do is I need to come down here, and I don't have it, I haven't gotten it yet, but there's a fence stretcher that you put. So you take a come along, you attach a chain to it, you put the fence stretcher on here, and then you use a come along, and it sucks and takes all the tension out of the wire to make it strong, because this here, even loose, even if I had it up, it'd be kind of a terrible fence. So I do have to get a fence stretcher, but I don't have one yet. So what I'm gonna end up doing is just use a hammer. So I pull this as tight as I can, I put the wire in between the notches, and I can just use leverage to tighten that wire. And then I also tighten it over onto itself, double wrapped. And then the last step is I've got fence clips that I'll go get, and we just get fence clips and they tie it here. So some of you may be asking, what's the difference with the notches on this side versus having the notches on this side in the way the fence or the T-posts are put in? So the reason we have all the notches going this way is where you have the most pressure. So we're gonna have cattle coming through that hole. They're gonna come in, they're gonna get antsy, they're gonna circle, and they're gonna come around, and they're gonna hit this wire, hit this fence, and they're gonna push on it. So that's where we talk about pressure on a fence. So we're able to put the clip on, and the notch holds it, and the wire then holds against or pushes against the T-post, and it keeps the wire up and provides the most durability and strength for that fence. So looks like the planter is out of oats, so I told him I'd go give him a ride, and we're gonna do that. One quick note, see how this T-post is turned? This isn't really gonna hold anything, but I don't want to pull it out and bang it back in, so I'll probably go get a wrench and twist it. Okay, so we're back here at the post where we're gonna stretch it. We'll undo our wire a little bit. This would be way easier with a legit fence stretcher, but I said I don't have one yet. I got another fence that I need to build. I will be getting one for that because we got a lot of wire to stretch on that one. But we just put the hammer in and keep taking the slack out. Until we get it pretty tight. Hold it, get it out, and then put the wire around it. Off we go. You don't want it so tight that you can play a guitar string on it, but it's got to be pretty tight. And it'll loosen up. Cows are curious to see what's going on. All right, on to the next one. Alrighty guys, here's the finished project. We got a 5-strand slick wire fence up. Got all the clips on. Got our braces in. We've had some cattle come in here and go to the corner and then circle back, so it's already doing what it's supposed to, which is really nice. So, appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll see y'all later.